This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's Tuesday, June 17th. I'm Anne-Sophie Goninet. Greenland's Nuuk wakes up to a cold morning, while the evening comes with clouds in Vanuatu. Here in a Worldcrunch newsroom in hot and sunny Paris, it's just after midday. These are the latest headlines. At least 51 Palestinians are killed in Gaza while waiting for aid trucks. Ukraine's capital city suffers one of its deadliest strikes by Russia. And our daily quiz question comes from the waters of Ibiza. Our top story today is the Israeli army's claim that it killed Iran's wartime chief of staff and most senior military commander, Ali Khamenei, as Tehran and Israel exchanged fire for a fifth day. US President Donald Trump said he wanted a real end to the nuclear problem with Iran after he departed the G7 summit in Canada early to deal with the conflict in the Middle East. In our More Than a Minute feature today, French political analyst Pierre Haski reflects on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's unambiguous goal to kill Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. His France Inter piece was translated by Worldcrunch, and the English audio was produced with automated voice technology. Pierre, tell us about the next phase of the conflict.
La phrase du Premier Ministre
The Israeli Prime Minister's sentence is resolute.
killing Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he told ABC News, would not provoke an escalation. It would end the conflict with Iran. I'd already looked at Israel's war motives, whether or not the state would go so far as seeking regime change in Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu gave a clear answer Monday night. He does not rule out striking Khamenei, the very top of the Iranian power pyramid, as the supreme leader has more power than the president in Iran. This statement is striking on two levels. It speaks volumes about Israel's sense of its own power, having demonstrated military supremacy over the last 4 days, to the point of declaring the enemy country's leader as target. It's in line with the plan Israel announced from the outset, to exact on Iran the same fate it inflicted on Lebanon's Hezbollah, whose all-powerful leader, Hassan Nasrallah, it ultimately eliminated. The second major factor is Israel's ability to consider the possibility of a successful targeted assassination at this level of power in the first place, without fearing the slightest international consequence.
Tell us more about the relationship between Trump and Netanyahu.
On Monday, the American press reported that Donald Trump had vetoed Netanyahu's suggestion that they might seek to eliminate Khamenei. Less than 24 hours later, Netanyahu himself announced the prospect, demonstrating that the American veto was no longer of value. He feels confident and secure enough to proclaim it despite foreign opinion. The Trump-Netanyahu relationship is particularly relevant at this moment. The U.S. president seemed to waver, to contradict himself, and to follow Netanyahu's lead in unleashing his all-out war against Iran on Thursday night. This was 48 hours before the resumption of Iranian-American negotiations, where Trump seemed to disapprove of military action. But when the bombing began, he congratulated Israel. Even today, it's hard to understand where Trump is going. He suggests that negotiation is still possible with Iran over its nuclear program, and that he does not intend to intervene in the conflict as long as American interests are not affected.
What are the limits to this war?
It's Trump and him alone who can stop the war. But he's not doing it, or not yet. Clearly, the Americans are delighted that Iran's nuclear program has been weakened. The Israelis are expecting more, however, because only the U.S. is in possession of the mega bomb that could destroy Iran's buried nuclear center at Fordo. If we listen to Benjamin Netanyahu, there are no limits to this war, and not even the fate of Khamenei, the successor to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme symbol of the Islamic Revolution. But if we listen to Donald Trump, the war may last another 3 or 4 days before ending, no doubt on a negotiation with a considerably weakened Iran. For the time being, Netanyahu is in charge, and he sees no limits to his action in Iran, neither military with his army's superiority, nor diplomatic, with an American cushion that guarantees him time and impunity. So when he says that Khamenei is a target, we must take him seriously.
Il faut donc le prendre au sérieux quand il dit que Khamenei est une cible.
In other news, Israeli tank shellfire killed at least 51 Palestinians and wounded more than 200 as they awaited aid trucks in the southern city of Khan Yunis. According to Palestinian witnesses, Israeli forces carried out an airstrike on a nearby home before opening fire toward the crowd. In Ukraine, Russia launched a sustained missile and drone attack on the capital city of Kyiv in the early hours of Tuesday, killing at least 14 people and injuring 116. Meanwhile, the European Commission is expected to propose a ban on EU imports of Russian gas and liquefied natural gas by the end of 2027. We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question. A plague of which 6-feet-long animals have left tourists on the Spanish island of Ibiza too terrified to swim? Is it A. sharks, B. alligators, C. snakes, or D. jellyfish? The correct answer is C. Tourists in Ibiza spotted snakes of up to 6 feet in the popular holiday destination's waters, leaving them too terrified to swim. It is common for snakes to take to the sea, experts say, particularly on the island, where they end up taking refuge in boats located on land in winter. That's the latest from around the world. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. À demain!